Hi, I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week is from Jen Rhodes, who has some interesting things going on with her roses. They all seem to be changing. About 15 years ago, Jen planted several different roses, including Madame Isaac Perrier, which has deep pink flowers. But recently she's noticed that its flowers are a deep Merlot color, and that the leaves are also completely different than they used to be. Could this be some sort of cross-pollination from her nearby new knockout roses? Well, Jen, there's no cross-pollination going on here. What's happening is much simpler, although less obvious at first. But to answer your question, we first need to talk about how roses are developed and propagated. Rose breeders are some of the most prolific in the nursery universe, coming up with seemingly hundreds of new roses each season. And in the early days, all of the fabulous new roses released each year were grafted onto the roots of a completely different rose. This was usually to keep size in check or to convey disease resistance or some other nice benefit that the fabulous new cultivar didn't possess, but the rootstock did. And the most commonly used rootstock in the entire rose breeding industry was a rose called Dr. Huey, which just happens to have deep Merlot flowers. Jen's rose changing issue is actually quite a common one. After many years in the garden and heavy pruning, most roses will begin to produce new canes from the roots, not just from the trunk system. Since the roots are below the graft union, any new canes that come from the roots will have the qualities and characteristics of their rootstock, not the plant that you purchased and that's been growing in your garden for years. If you want to get your plant back to the rose you knew it to be, you'll have to prune all of the canes that emerge from the roots each year. But if the entire top growth has died, or if it's been pruned below the graft union, there'll be no way to get back to that original rose that you had. Nowadays, more and more breeders are offering roses as own root, which means that they're not grafted onto Dr. Huey or any other rootstock. And the leaves and flowers of own root roses will always remain the same as the plant that you purchased. Our plant this week is Crinum lily, and there are lots to choose from. From our delicate white native swamp lilies to the deep reds, soft pinks, and other gorgeous colors available in various hybrid cultivars and heirlooms, if you've got a shady spot that's still pretty bright, Crinums might be a good choice for your garden. As with most bulbs, these perennials are dormant in the winter, with new leaves and flowers emerging each spring. Crinums prefer moist, rich soil, high in organic matter, so it's good to add a little compost as mulch each season, or when you divide the plants every few years. As with most bulbs, Crinums rot if they stay too wet, so be careful that your rich organic soil isn't holding too much water. Crinums perform best in areas of very bright, filtered shade or with morning sun only. The harsh afternoon rays can fry them. Very popular in heirloom southern gardens, Crinum lilies are some of the toughest plants around, making them a great choice for busy gardeners without much time to pamper their plants. They look and perform best when crowded, so plant them in small masses tucked into small corners of shady beds. Our viewer pick this week is from Karen, who sent us this lovely shot of some gorgeous poppies. We'd love to hear from you, so please visit klru.org/ctg to send us your questions and pictures.